What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Xstorm show. I'm your host, Apex Rebel X, and we actually have a pretty exciting show for you today. Can't wait to get started, but before we can do anything else, I'm proud to announce that we have officially broke the 150 subscriber mark. Awesome! For those of you who are new to the show, I'm Apex Rebel X, producer, writer, filmmaker, animator. I got my hands on a little bit of everything. If it's a form of art, I typically enjoy doing it, especially if it's entertaining to others. Uh, so, if you happen to be new to the show, feel free to press the like and leave a comment below if you want to let us know how you enjoyed the show, or if you have any suggestions or anything like that. Also, at the same time, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell, so that way, any given time that we may produce more episodes of not just the Xstorm show, but our other production projects as well. It means very little to you, but to us, it means the world. So today's show, I've actually got I've got a special guest co-host who's going to come on camera with me here in about a minute. He's a really good friend of mine. Like me, he is a entertainer. He's out of Las Vegas, Nevada, as a matter of fact. We met back in South Carolina, and we've been good friends ever since. He's occasionally had me do some camera work for him, and all that goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming my special guest co-host for the day, Mr. Magic Mike Ovard. One. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me here. I mean, it's been a while since we ever had a chance to chit-chat, so I appreciate you taking time out and inviting me on today. I'm super stoked and excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, how's the weather down there in South Kakalaki?
You know, it's been South Kakalaki weather, so it was literally at 7 a.m. this morning, it was 40 degrees, and now it's 72.
Oh, quit whining, you pussy. Up
I'm
here
just
this
saying.
morning, it was only like 29 degrees.
Well, okay, well, there's a little bit of a difference for you and me here, okay? I'm on an island, and you're there.
Yeah, I suppose that does make a difference. Well, I'm actually excited to have you here on the show with us today, Mike. And as I understand it, you've actually been following the show so far, and
I have. I'm a big fan. I love all your topics and all the stuff that you're talking about here, and I think it's vital information, that you're being kind enough to provide to a lot of people, that are, recently just starting out or kind of scared to step out of the, out of the shadow and trying to do something different, and I feel like that you're a good source for education purposes, and since you dabble in a little bit of everything anyway, whether you're dabbling into your filmmaking or your animation or your comic books, you do a lot of stuff, man. You're like a jack of all trades, so you're worth a lot of information there to have a lot of different topics on. So yeah, I've been digging the show, loving it. I like it a lot better since you get to actually at least see some of you, because the podcast that was in the dark was kind of weird, but other than that, I dig it.
Yeah, I thought I'd see how these lights looked on camera, but I kind of had a little bit of an amateur cameraman, still has a lot to learn. So
Gotcha.
That's why I'm kind of switching gears and sticking to the 1080p cam on my system. So that's definitely.
Hey, I know that everybody else is going to be able to see this crystal clear because I see you crystal clear. All right, so the camera's working great.
Absolutely, and that's awesome. And, I actually have to mention to anybody who might be watching this at the moment, Magic Mike Ovard is actually one of the people who was kind enough to give me a little critique and say, hey, I know you personally, and the first couple of videos kind of remind me of your ROTC days. You're like, way too serious, man. We need to lighten this up a bit. So
Yeah, it was still good. It was informative. It's just that it's like I know you, and it's just like you have so much personality behind you, and I felt like you were like conserving it and hiding it for no reason whatsoever.
yeah, I definitely feel you on that one, dude. And honestly, we got a lot more stuff coming out here soon that I think even you will enjoy. Like JJ420, we're actually going to start having her her own little show, literally called the JJ420 Show. In case anybody is wondering, yes, we are in a pot legal state, so we are going to smoke some ganja. We're going to have some laughs, and we're just going to laugh at some of the stupidest shit you could possibly watch.
I'm looking forward to that because I imagine that show's going to be pretty entertaining.
Absolutely. I mean, JJ.
You let her know she needs a guest spot. I'll be happy to be on there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But going ahead and getting down to things, man. Mike, as I understand it, you're not like me. You don't come from, a small town and, pretty much the asshole of South Carolina. And
no.
Just so people out there know, the reason why I call it the asshole of South Carolina is we are the second to last town you pass on 95. I swear, if you blink, you will miss the exit.
Absolutely.
Mike here is actually from Las Vegas, Nevada, as I understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Born in California, raised in Las Vegas. Been doing magic since I was 15 years old. Started doing magic because my sister worked for a shop called Houdini's Magic in Las Vegas. I saw a magician take somebody's key card and throw it around their entire body, and they spun it, caught it, and then handed it back to the person. I was like, I want to do that. So my sister bought me my very first magic trick. I started performing it outside, and I started learning it, and I started floating a dollar bill outside of my apartment complex. Next thing I know, I have a bunch of people around me, and they're watching me, and I'm all like, I got to do something else. So I let the bill slowly fall to the ground, and I made it jump back into my hand, and then I uncrumbled it and handed it out to somebody to look at. And then this other guy gave me $5 and said, kid, don't ever work for free. And I haven't since.
Well, in the words of one of my favorite DC characters, when you're good at what you do, never do it for free.
Damn right. And I love it. I mean, I've been doing gigs here and there. I have a steady once a year show that I do for a lady out here for Halloween time. You were there for my last one. Just so if any of you are wondering, if you ever want to check out some of my videos, you can on my Facebook page. But the latest one that I have on there, my latest magic show, was because X was the one that recorded it. So if you notice that the quality's a lot better and you can see the tricks a lot better, make sure you give that man a thanks for that, because I've already thanked him, but y'all should thank him too, because the year prior to that, I had his brother filming it, and it was very rocky, and you can hear him kind of talking crap in the background and, going like, oh, why don't these people get out of my way? And I'm like, dude, you can't talk while you're the cameraman, shut up. But, it's whatever. This year was much better, so thank you, X.
Yeah, man, yeah, definitely. I'd love to get together and shoot another show like that. And most people think that it is impossible to get into the entertainment industry, and what they don't realize is that is a both true and false statement. It is true in terms of Hollywood because they're too chicken to let anything original be produced. Their investors don't like risk. And I'm sorry, but Mike, you're probably going to laugh at me because you're going to understand the reference here. How many times can you rewrite the same story from the 1940s?
Man, you were preaching to the choir. You were preaching to the choir. That's like you said, they don't ever want to try anything risky. They always want to do something the same all the time, which is why we get remakes and redones and sequels and prequels and That's prime example. We're getting another Bad Boys movie next year.
Oh, come on. Bad Boys for Life should have been the end of it. I love Will Smith and Martin Lawrence when they get together, but
I think this one's called Bad Boys Never Die, and that truly is the fact because they keep making films.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, how many Fast and Furious movies do we have now?
So that would make the fourth installment to the franchise for Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. The one that I think kills me the most, it's in speculation and it's in rumor right now.
Back to the Future.
The Back to the Future with Tom Holland.
No. Shut it down.
I'm like, I understand, dude. I understand the whole let's make something and remake it, let's do it better, blah, blah, blah. But there are certain things you just don't touch.
Dude.
And that is one of them.
Dude, Back to the Future is one of the movies that actually inspired me to get into making my own films. You know, the piece that got me thinking about it was Spielberg's Jaws. And Mike, you've even heard the story from a couple of my relatives, including my mother. In case you guys don't know, yes, we have a Stifler situation going on here. Magic Mike Ovard is actually my mom's boyfriend. And you know what? He's actually a great guy. I will say that. And Mike can confirm this, that at only 16 years old, I managed to get Spielberg's autograph due to the creativity of my writing, and even a letter that told me, don't shoot for Hollywood, go entertainment, be self-produced. That's how you make it. And my mom been asking me for years, if it's so easy to get into the independent industry versus Hollywood, why isn't everyone doing it? That's because not everybody is entertainment. Not everybody wants to be entertainers. My 8-year-old son just wants to be a businessman.
So, to be like, for example, a magician, all right? You can learn a card trick. That's cool. Lots of people can learn a card trick. A lot of people can learn to do what I do. But it's your presentation. It's your wording. Because you're not just a magician. You're a storyteller. You're an actor. You're a creator. You're a director. You're a writer. Because if you can't be all those things, then you can't do this job.
And one of the things I like about you, Mike, is...
And you got to be a people person. You got to be a people person. If you're not a people person as a magician, then you're David Blaine.
Yeah, magicians are just like stand-up comedians. You've got to be okay with crowds. You've got to be okay with having a live audience.
Oh, absolutely. And I always say the more people, the merrier.
One of the things I definitely appreciate about you, Mike, is you don't do the typical cliche card trick magic.
No.
You tend to favor the magic that gets overlooked a lot. Like, one of my favorite tricks is your disappearing bottle trick. I'm still trying to figure that out because I've seen you do this trick up close and personal, and not a glass bottle.
I'm trying to figure out how I do it too, because really all I do is get pissed off at that thing all the time, and I think it's afraid of me personally at this point.
Dude, absolutely, man. And
so,
what a lot of people...
it's kind of funny that you mention it, because I mean I do have your friend here today.
Oh yes, come on.
I do have your friend here today. So here's what he's referring to. So I have a bottle and I have a bag. Okay. So if I put the bottle in the bag and I click it, boom, the bottle's gone, right? Right?
Nope.
See, this is what I mean. He thinks it's funny. Bottle, bag, close it, tap, tap, tap. Now we can open it up for you guys and see that the bottle is actually disappeared. Okay, I think I got it this time. Okay, so let me show you one more time. This is a glass Coca-Cola bottle. There's your Coke symbol. I want you to be sure you can see it. Okay, you got the shininess right coming off there from that glass. Okay.
Dude, why don't you just give it a
once
kiss?
again-
Give it a kiss just for good luck.
Oh, there we go. I can still taste the remnants of my Coke that I had earlier. All right. So
Are we
this
talking the
time,
soda or the powder? Don't answer that.
all right. Anyway, so bottle of Coke inside the bag. Tap, 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 tap. Mwah, kiss for luck. And the bottle is gone. It's gone.
You sure about that?
It's gone now.
And it's gone. He just crumpled up a glass bottle into a bag like it was a piece of paper.
It pissed me off. Stupid bottle.
And you know what, Mike? That is actually a perfect representation of something I want to talk about for people who are actually coming into this industry. It is true. Anything you want in life, it requires determination. But what happens when people become too impatient with their determination? Having determination is one thing, but there's a difference between determination and impatience. Like, for example, Mike, you said you've been working at this whole trying to convert yourself into a full-time magician for decades.
Probably at least close to 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, you said you started out when you were like 15, right?
Yeah.
And
I've been wanting to perform full-time for probably the last 15, 20 years.
Well, you know, I actually admire your determination because you stick with it. And you don't just stick with the same, you know, suitcase full of parlor tricks. You develop yourself. You continue to progress and develop your magic. And that is something.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I do have a suitcase. But I use it for more than just that.
Nice.
This is the suitcase that you just saw really quick is considered my small travel suitcase. So, which means it's got enough tricks in here to where I can go ahead and go do a small house show or a private show for like 20 or 30 people, like a nice little half an hour gig, 45 minutes maybe. I do have bigger setups too. I have entire stage setups that I keep in the shed over at the other house. And I have a complete stage setup with curtains, cabinets, for an entire stage show. So I can do stage, but it's like you were saying earlier, I'm not a typical type of magician. The bottle, for example, I like to use everyday ordinary objects. A bottle that someone would see, a bag that someone would put their stuff in. I use cards. Sometimes it's more my buddy who, if your viewers want to see at Ovard's Magic on Facebook, they can go ahead and see some of the performances. They can also look for Mr. Magic on TikTok to see some of my other videos and performances. And you can see Brandon, actually, who's my friend, who's done the last couple of shows with me. He is an amazing. Now, like I said, card magic isn't for me. I've never really developed into it. I do some card magic, but his card magic is next level. He's only been doing magic for a few years, but his magic is beautiful. You saw it firsthand. His sleight of hand cards is amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I like everyday objects. Spoons, forks, pens, pencils, dice, cards. Maybe one of these times, if you have me back, I can show people how amazing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich can be.
Dude, the magic peanut butter trick is actually a pretty impressive one. Because sometimes I'm still trying to figure out how to do it.
That's usually my closer for all my kids' shows.
Yeah. But, trying to get back on topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trying to get back on topic, one of the key differences between determination and impatience is we've actually we've actually seen people get so impatient that they go broke and homeless over trying to get into the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. People become obsessed with their project to the point to where it makes them penniless, and it destroys them completely. And if you let your project get out of hand like that, it's not your dream anymore. It's an obsession. And an obsession and a dream are two totally different things. I'm trying to live that dream, but at the same time, I know I have to work a regular 9 to 5 job to support my household and my family. And also, to buy things, like I wouldn't have this phone to talk to you on that I'm talking to you on right now. I wouldn't have that case of stuff. Talking to you is just, I've made money from Magic over the years. I've made some pretty decent money, but not enough to support myself. But that is the dream. That is the dream that I'm currently working on. And I've talked about it a lot. I've been working on it a lot more than I have been in the past. Really, really putting forth more effort, putting more work into my Facebook page, putting more work into my TikTok page. I now have, if anybody searches for Ovard's Magic on Yelp, they'll be able to find me there, and that'll connect them to my website, my Facebook, and everything else, so they can look for me for gigs. And, I've decided to try to go out there and extend myself and make phone calls to different places that hire magicians, in the area. And, I've even told people on my Facebook feed, even if you're out of state and you want me, as long as you pay for my expenses to get out there and put me up in a hotel room for the day and pay me for my job, I'll be happy to come out. No problem whatsoever. I will travel. I don't care. I want to entertain the masses, and I would love for it to be my full-time job, which wouldn't even be a job. It'd just be living the dream.
Right. Well, that kind of leads into the whole aspect of determination and separating determination from, patience. Because I'm not going to lie, I've been at this, trying to raise Xstorm off the ground for the last going on 13 years now. I got started on this when I was 15. And I've been doing this, off and on ever since, acquiring what I could. And then, if I need more, which oftentimes I absolutely need more, I develop it even further by holding a steady job. I haven't been able to go full time on elding until I moved up here, living with JJ and our boys. We have actually made more progress since we started living up here than when I was living down there in South Carolina. When I was living down there in South Carolina, I was moving mere centimeters at a time, in terms of progress. But now that I'm up here, now that I finally got a workable system that I had to piece together like a puzzle over the course of the last 13 years.
Right.
I am actually proud to say, dude, I don't know if I've informed you yet, but officially, as of the last time I looked, right before we started recording, our YouTube page is now up to 190 something subscribers in just a few days.
Wow.
Just in the last couple of days. And it's all stuff that I have learned about marketing, staying constant with developing content. We had a little bit of a period there in between the second and third episode of the show where we had some equipment malfunctions, some personal emergencies that had to get handled. You know the drill. It's not easy when you are a dad and when you have a significant other that you live with, let alone work with. So one of the things that most definitely I have learned getting up to this point is consistency is key. With impatience, you're not consistent. You are rushing because you're ready to reach that finish line before somebody else does.
Absolutely. And it's like on my Facebook page, for example, I've noticed that almost every day when I check, there's anywhere between 5 to 10 new visitors every day that I log on, because I'm providing, even if it's just something small, it's just like a quote, or just providing information, or posting a new photo, or I'm trying to upload new tricks whenever I can. It's getting more people to look. The more people look, the more people want to think, and the more people think, the more people want to do. And that doing is what makes you the money.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree 100%. So, that's the difference between determination and patience. And a lot of times, what people don't realize is you are more often to crash and burn being too impatient to get into this industry. And too many people want to go for Hollywood because that's where the money is. No. Hollywood, yes, does have an abundance of wealth, but they're falling for a reason. They can't do originality. They don't like risk. If you want to get into the entertainment industry, like myself or like Magic Mike here, you have got to self-produce yourself. And I'm actually proud to admit that by the end of this week, we're actually going to have the first set of episodes of a tutorial that I'm doing. It's going to be a long stretch series because there is a lot of stuff that goes into the way I animate. But it's so simple. Screw saying caveman could do it. A dinosaur could do what I do if they watch my tutorial videos. And I'm not afraid to receive some critique on it. I am not afraid to receive some critique or some special requests. But at the same time, you have to remember, this has been years, over a decade, that I have had to learn all of this stuff. And not everybody learns as fast as I do. Not everybody picks up at the same speed that I do. And too many times I have seen potential wasted, all because they want to get there. They want to get there now. They want to make those millions before they're old enough to have pubes.
Yeah. That doesn't work that way always.
I wish that it did. I honestly wish that it did, because I'd already be sitting up in Schwarzenegger's joint.
Some people, it's amazing on how, so there was this kid that I worked with, all right, that he said that I'm like, so what are you planning on when you get out of high school? You gonna go to college? He's like, no, I decided to go full-time on my YouTube channel. What? Yeah, I'm gonna go full-time YouTuber. And I'm thinking to myself, at first I was like, that sounds stupid, right? But I use YouTube as an outlet.
Exactly.
To try to promote my business.
Your show goes on YouTube.
So YouTube, being a YouTuber, when I think about it, is just a way to be in the entertainment industry without the Hollywood hype. Because my son, my 12-year-old son, one of his favorite singers is a YouTube star.
Yeah.
All right. Some of my favorite things to watch are YouTubers. One of my all-time favorite shows on YouTube is the Slow Mo Guys. I fucking love those guys. And they're part of the Rooster Teeth Entertainment. Same people who make Red vs. Blue.
Dude, Team 4-Star with all their abridged anime series. I mean, my personal favorite is Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
Yeah, between that one and DBZ.
Yeah, and speaking of DBZ, we actually want to have a little bit of a moment of silence as an anime legend has passed away on the 1st of March. Akira Toriyama, who was my idol growing up, I grew up learning to draw anime by drawing his DBZ characters. I even drew a version of Goku at Super Saiyan 3. This is long before even GT came out. I drew Goku with a half-smoked cigarette hanging out of his mouth, his gi all ripped to shreds, shackles on his wrists, around his ankles with broken chains, and I wrote a quote right next to the picture because people misinterpret what the Super Saiyan represents. I wrote a quote, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What does kill you and you come back from, that's something special. That's invincibility." Okay, for anyone who's watched DBZ all the way from the original Dragon Ball in the 80s, all the way up to the current Dragon Ball Super, Goku has lived and died more times than Constantine from the DC universe.
Yeah, that says a lot.
That dude has been to hell so many times, I'm pretty sure he has a condo right there on the second floor of
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got lava.
Lucifer's palace.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got lava front property.
Dude, lava front property is the best. You can see all the succubus down on the beach walking around nude. Don't hit up one of those, though. You're liable to catch something you need medication to get rid of. Yeah, it sounds actually a lot like my ex. You know the one I'm talking about, Mikey.
Sounds exactly like her. 100%.
Dude, sometimes I swear she would pick up a drug or pick up a beer and be like, hold on. Just pretend this is a beer. My process. My process. My process. I never could do it, dude. I'm not a beer kind of guy. I'm the type of drinker that needs a little class in my glass.
I like some Jack or some Jameson.
Dude, I'm right up the same alley. You remember that one 4th of July? I drunk your behind on
I
your
remember
table.
that 4th of July.
Yes, sir.
I was using both my kids to stabilize myself while we were watching fireworks.
Yeah, that was definitely a good time.
That was fun. It was fun.
So, too many times I've seen people disappear trying to pursue the industry, but a lot of people tend to make a comeback. It's like they recycle and reinvent themselves as they're trying to do. And, I've had to reinvent myself plenty of times. And as I understand it, Mike, you actually recycle some of your magic material. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. I've actually recycled quite a few things before with magic. Like for a prime example, right? So a lot of people don't realize how many decks of cards a magician actually goes through, because you have your practice decks. Those get worn out. You got decks that aren't fully complete anymore because you handed out cards that were signed or whatever as souvenirs for your guests. So when you have an incomplete deck and you have no purpose for it anymore, I'm going to show you how you can recycle it. It's very simple. You take your recycling case, which is completely empty, okay? And then you take your deck of cards that you don't need anymore. You place them inside of your recycling bin, and then they're recycled. Just like that.
That trick still gets me. I'm still trying to figure out, how do you do that? Now watch, he'll pull that box right back out of it. Mike, I don't recommend sticking your pecker in there, though. That might be lost. That might be lost to the void at that point.
Yeah, no, void is no. No, I don't recommend that for anybody because I don't know where the cards go.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, me get really close up to you on this here. If you can fit your penis in there, is it really a penis? Ugh.
At that point,
Because
no,
I
I
have
don't
enough
even
trouble
think it's a
getting my
man.
pinky through. I want you to see my pinky. It has a hard time getting in.
Dude, I'm pretty
Until they're
sure.
dented.
I'm pretty sure the clitoris would have a hard time getting in there. So, one of the things that I definitely wanted to get down to doing, and this is sort of a courtesy thing for you, Mike, is I actually wanted to do a small interview with you and see
Sure.
if we can get some information out to anyone who might be viewing the show. I actually wanted to ask you. You're willing to travel anywhere in the continental U.S., am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Anywhere in the continental U.S., people can book a show for you, and all they got to do is cover your travel expenses and compensate you for the time on your show.
Exactly. So if somebody, I'm in South Carolina, let's say somebody wants me to come out to Georgia, for example. Like, Georgia's pretty close, so I can drive out there. I would have them compensate for my fuel and then pay me for the show because I wouldn't need to stay overnight. But let's say it's something like where you're at, right?
Michigan.
So, over in Michigan. So they would have to pay for my flight, and I'd work with them too. They'd have to, either they can pay for a one-way or a round trip. I prefer a round trip, but I'd work with them. And if they paid for the trip and they paid for my place to stay, I would cut them a break on the show itself.
Right.
So I work with people and I give discounts and, I'll give specials and stuff like that, but the plus side about my shows is that I customize them completely. They are completely customizable shows. So
like if I
character
wanted you to come
want,
up and do like a Veterans Day special, you would be able to fit your routine around the theme of Veterans Day, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I would do is, for example, first thing I can think of is Veterans Day celebrates all veterans from all military branches. So I would have a Air Force routine, for example, where I would make I actually have playing cards that have airplanes on them. And I do this trick with 4 coins, making them travel with the coins and the cards to make it look like a flight. So it's called a coin flight. So that would celebrate the Air Force, right? And then for the Marines, for example, the Marines do a lot of in the water stuff, right? So they'll go into scuba gear and they'll sneak up on people. So I have another one where I make a coin, vanish and then reappear someplace else. And you have one coin in your hand and I have one, let's say, in my pocket or my wallet or my shoelace, because that's how sneaky they are, because they're Marines, right? Marines are sneaky, all right? So for the Navy, for example, the Navy always likes to, the Navy SEALs, they always travel in tight pairs, right? Tight pairs of teams. So I have a 2-coin composition trick where every time I take a coin away and put it in my pocket, for example, you try to tell me how many Marines are left, and you're like, well, there's only one. No, because they travel together, and then there's still 2 coins. See what I'm getting at? So I can do that, and that's just off the top of my head without even thinking. You just gave me an example, and I threw one right back at you. So that's how quick I can customize a show.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie with Hugh Jackman where he's doing the circus?
Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. So this little girl wanted her birthday to be based around the Greatest Showman. So I set up a 3-ring circus in her backyard, right, with giant hula hoops, and I decorated them to look like a circus. All right, and in each circle, I did a different set of magic tricks going with the music of the movie.
So, this is just for instance.
Sure.
So, like, if a community center decided that they wanted to have you do a party for, say, you already have a Halloween gig that's pretty steady and booked every
Okay.
year. So let's say just a random act. They just want a magician present. Do you like having, full creative range of uh do you like having full creative range where shows that are wide open, there's really no theme to them. It's all make it up as you go on the spot, basically like method acting. Are those shows typically your favorite to do?
I mean, I do like to have the free reign where like someone's like, I trust you, just make it good. Sure, no problem. I did that for my Halloween show because she just said she just wanted a magician when she first hired me, and I created a show for her, and she loved it. And I just tweak it a little bit each year. That's it. I tweak it a little bit by ad-libbing new words or adding in new tricks or twisting around old tricks, making them new. Like sometimes you got to recycle shit. But yeah, I love having the complete creative control because I feel like that I can judge the room and the space and kind of get a vibe of the people as I'm setting up to kind of determine what kind of show needs to happen here. Like I know if there's a lot of kids watching, I need to go more of the kid-friendly route and some of the more kid-friendly tricks that they might understand a little bit more. If it's more of an adult room, then I can go ahead and turn up the humor a little bit more and get a vibe of what kind of room I'm entertaining, and I can put on a little bit more of the adult-orientated version of my magic. So where it's a little bit more complicated tricks, where it's a little bit more, you need to be able to follow a little bit closer, to where a kid's show only lasts for about 30 to 45 minutes. I put on, adult shows for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, I mean, I can put on a full 2-hour show and not repeat the same trick. So,
Wow, that is actually incredible. And if I may ask, in terms of the pricings of your shows, how do you tend to do your price points on your show?
So price points go where if you want something customized, that's obviously going to cost more. But baseline for a show, typically, if it's a kid's show, it's usually based off of how many are in attendance and the distance and everything. But if I had to give a rough estimation, 30-minute show usually runs about 150 to 200 depending. And then an hour show is about $50 to $75 more than that. So you're looking anywhere between $150 and $350 for a show on average, which isn't too bad considering that you're not just getting one magician now when it was just me. You're getting that price for two magicians now. So,
two magicians. So we're looking at. So we possibly have an apprentice that would be joining your shows with you.
Absolutely. Brandon has already agreed that any gig that I get, he'd love to be a part of. I'll kick him in a little bit extra money, but he's not really doing it so much for the money as he's doing it for the experience and the recognition.
Right, which is the right
because
reason to be in it.
He wants to build his own brand.
Which is understandable, and actually anyone that has read the bio on the Xstorm page, anyone who knows me knows that I'm not in entertainment for the money. I'm not in it really to be famous, hence why I go by a nickname. I've always been told that when you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And for me, that is especially true. No job is without its bullshit. Don't be blindsided. No job is without its bullshit. I'm sure you even get headaches from the magic shows that you tend to do.
Oh yeah. When you get that heckler, that one that just wants to ruin it for everybody else. Can't stand those people. I'm like, look, I can be open about this. If people don't realize this, and that's okay. What I do is entertainment. I'm not really a wizard, okay? There is a method behind everything that I do. But it entertains people, and it makes people smile, and it makes people guess and wonder. And if I can give somebody that little glimpse of when they were a kid and they believed anything was possible, and even magic was real, that's a cool feeling to have. And that shock factor on an adult's face when that coin, they swore to God there was two coins in their hand, and then there's only one, and I have the other one, and that shock factor that comes into play, it's just fun. And when you have somebody that's trying to ruin that for everybody else, it just becomes disheartening. So you have to just learn how to out-heckle the heckler. So
Absolutely.
whenever they start yelling, "Oh, I know how that's done," I will look at them and say, "Awesome, come up here and help me." And they usually don't want to get up.
Right. Well, before we move on to the last little segment of this episode, because we're right at 47 minutes and 10 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
God, it doesn't seem like that long. It just seems like we're just shooting the shit, honestly.
Hey, it's a lot more fun when it's more than just me on the show. It actually gets a lot more entertaining. And honestly, that's the critique you gave me. That honestly, I agree with. You're doing something by yourself. It's not nearly as fun.
You have a good personality and you're a funny person. And it's just that it was disheartening to see the person that I know being, "This is going to be how straightforward and dull we're going to be today." I'm like, who the hell is that talking? That's not the X I know. The X I'm talking to right now is the X I know.
Yeah. That's definitely one reason why I kind of want to have a regular guest co-host on the show from this point on. No matter what the show is about.
Well, if you ever need my help, if I'm available, I'll jump on.
Absolutely. So real quick before we move on.
Oh, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I can also talk to my buddy Brandon, and that way you can have a different aspect of the other side of magic.
Absolutely.
Being the person who's still new in the business and is still learning. But what's good about Brandon is he doesn't necessarily follow the same methods as most magicians, because he actually has been inventing his own tricks for the last couple of years. So I'll talk to him. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. It just thought rolled into the head. I had to say it out loud before I forgot it.
We've got one more magic trick.
I just saw a magic trick. You made another person appear.
Oh, yeah, that's JJ. She's still a little under the weather from illness she's been battling for some time now. But as soon as we are able, as soon as she's feeling up to it, JJ420 will also be on the show.
That'll be awesome. I look forward to seeing her show too.
Oh, absolutely.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and she came up with that idea last night, just shooting the shit while we smoke a little ganja and just get the laughing.
Just so you know, just food for thought for anybody who's watching this. The creators of Lids / Hat Shack, the big hat company that sells all the best hats for sports and everything like that, they even have contracts with the Major League Baseball companies for hats, was designed by two people smoking pot.
Dude, Zuckerberg was so high off his ass when he did Facebook that he didn't realize he ripped off MySpace. But you know what? Facebook is a lot better off for the fact because there's a lot more you can do with Facebook than MySpace. And you know what? Most of the people who are probably watching this show are like, the fuck's MySpace?
What the fuck's a MySpace? Look it up.
So we got time for one more magic trick. And Mike, I don't even know what this last trick is going to be.
So I wanted to do something special for you, X. So since you were kind enough to invite me on your show, I wanted to be courteous enough to show you a trick that's never been performed by me before, a brand new trick that I like to call the crazy dice. So let me get my camera here. Okay, so it's on this side. So as you can see, I have a giant die inside of this container. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little shake. And then watch as that little die turns into a bunch of little die.
What in the hell? Not only did you miniaturize that die, you also turned it into a bunch of multicolored clones. Magic Mike, ladies and gentlemen. Magic Mike. Only Magic Mike Ovard can bring you these tricks. I've got to say, you are definitely an excellent showman. That is awesome. So
that was the premiere of that trick just for your show.
That was a first-time trick?
That was a first-time trick. Oh, no! I got so excited that you fell from the sky. My bad.
It's okay. It's a blooper that I might just leave there for the sense of comedy. So, one of the last things, we wanted to cover on the show, Mike, when I talked to you about it, is you're actually kind of curious about what I've been up to lately.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, I haven't talked to you much, and I know you've been working on the show and doing all these projects. So, I guess my question for you is so what's your big thing that you're kind of working on right now? I mean, for what's coming up on the next set of shows?
Well, right at the moment, we do have a feature link that we are working on. You can catch small little updates on it on Facebook. But the main thing that I'm really proud of right now is our animated project, Alpha 30. It's a sci-fi. I can't really go into too much detail about who we have casting it and story plot and stuff, but it is a sci-fi.
Do we have an estimated release date, or maybe at least a release date for a preview of the show?
Right at the moment, we're still working on animations and rendering. We had some technical difficulties that kind of made us have to start over.
Gotcha.
No project ever hits it off perfectly. But if I had to compare this project, I would say it is a perfect happy medium between Doom and Ridley Scott's Aliens, because the people on the planet are being turned into the monsters, but it's not through the methods you would think. There is no parasite. There is.
Hey, pause it for a second.
Right. So, like I was saying, there is no parasites or, some freaky ass tongue thing that turns the people into monsters. It's actually something that I haven't seen anyone do yet with a sci-fi flick. In terms of a release date, I don't want to make any promises, but we are looking at close to the summer for a release date.
What about for at least a preview?
Yeah, at least a preview. As a matter of fact, I don't think I can do it on a PC, but yes, I can. I can share my screen with you. And I actually, just give me 1 second, Mike, because I actually have something pretty incredible to show you. I'll give you a quick little test feature of it. Mind you, this project currently at the moment has no sound. Let's see. There we go. It's currently sharing with me now. This is the first 4 minutes and 48 seconds of the film. As you can see, one of the characters actually does resemble me in the face a bit. I can neither confirm nor deny that this character will be voiced by me, but it was actually a bit of a test to see if we could take a real person's face and apply it to a character, so that way we have a bit more of a variety of characters to model and use for the project. And I showed this little clip during the last episode of the Xstorm show, and it does feature some of my favorite shots that I've done so far, and kind of something you can anticipate being in the final project. Um, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty big hit, even though it's 3D animated and everything like that. This project actually has moments that utilizes like a first-person shooter type deal. So like, if I fast forward this on through, give me just a second. Right about here in a second, this is where they're kind of investigating the facility to see what's going on. And here in a moment, you're going to see my favorite kind of shot. There it is, dude.
That's awesome.
You see what I mean by the first-person shooter aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, like, this is going to be one really cool project. There's not anything like it out there. And I really can't wait for when it's finished because you guys are absolutely going to love it. We will try to eventually redo it in a better quality, but right now our primary focus is giving you guys something to watch.
It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. There's some stuff in there that kind of drove me a little bit crazy, like the uniforms glitching around and stuff. But, this is like a rough draft of it. So that's actually pretty neat. That's actually a pretty neat part of it.
That was pretty cool.
So, that's pretty much a sneak peek into what we're working on right now. Now, when we do finish this project, we do have a straight-up horror project that's going to be a little bit more on a serialized basis. It's kind of my own combination of all my favorite video games growing up. Growing up, we had Resident Evil, we had Silent Hill, and I appreciate games that have both the paranormal horror as well as the scientifically explainable horror. So like it's going to be a perfect little mashup of that. Right at the moment, I really don't have a title for it. I'm leaning somewhere in the neighborhood of, calling it something to do with like a breed of evil. Because the characters get yanked into this twisted dimension where if you die there, you're turned into a monster. But there's this organization that exists. They created this dimension to harvest souls, to make themselves stronger and younger for longer. And to me, I think that right there is something that people can definitely get into, is like a corporate or an organized group that seeks out immortality through these twisted, nightmarish worlds they create.
It's almost like they take your soul and put you into a monster and harvest your soul for themselves.
Well, the thing is the monsters are completely summoned. They're not actually human beings. The monsters are there to hunt humans. But they can only do it in this general vicinity, this certain made-up town that they operate in. And the main character is basically like a fresh out the academy cop who is assigned to this town because they are in such desperate need of good cops. So that's kind of the direction I'm swinging with it.
Huh. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
Sounds pretty cool.
To me, it's
so. You got that project. You got the Alpha 30 project you're working on. So, any kind of big plans for this show that you're working on?
Right at the moment, I'm just starting to get to the point where some of the creatures, the lesser creatures in the Alpha 30 universe, are starting to become present. They're about to start running into trouble, and for all intents and purposes, this is where shit's going to start hitting the fucking fan.
It's not good.
And in all honesty, I love good fight sequences. I love it even better when you experience the fight from the perspective of the character. And you know, a fair warning to any viewers out there, there is going to be some filthy fucking language in this. This is not a project. This is not a cartoon for kids, people. Because
there's no mouth on this one.
Do you expect anything less out of Marines, especially Space Marines?
Nope.
Oh, but you know, actually, this one is actually going to be one that, upon its release, we should already have a website up and running. It'll have all of our current shows that we're working on, like the Xstorm show, the JJ420 show. It's going to have all of that stuff on there. It won't have my tutorial shows on there, but the shows will be available on the website to premium members with early access. And, you know, I know most people, they talk about, you know, having a premium subscription to a company is most of the time like, I don't know, more than $5. I know with a company like Peacock, the subscription's like $5 and some change. But our premium subscribers, regular price, only have to pay like $2.50 a month. That's going to be our set price. And they'll have the option to either pay by the month, $2.50, or they can pay for the whole year for only $25.
That's not bad.
That is a steal. We have regular memberships where you just sign up for free, but in order to get the early access and the once a month freebie, yes, we're going to have a once a month freebie for all premium members. You know, I can't promise it's going to be anything too extravagant like shirts or whatever, but it's going to be a once a month freebie, and each freebie is going to be unique to the account holder. So whatever they like, the freebie is going to pertain to that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just one of the ways that we want to personally thank our viewers.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that, you know, that's good for you guys to show what kind of a company it is, and you know, it's showing your appreciation for your fan base. And I mean, who doesn't like that incentive of something for free, right?
Dude, people love free shit.
I love free shit.
I bet you do.
I do.
So, that's pretty much what we've got going on for the development slate this year. Is we've only got like 4 projects, counting the Xstorm show, what we're currently doing. A couple of our shows will actually be pretty easy to produce, like this one in the JJ420 show. The animated projects, they're going to be a little bit more difficult, but as soon as we have a timetable, we'll be able to let everybody know, and, you know, everybody will be able to enjoy some originality for once. Yeah, because
I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to those projects. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the X show. I'm looking forward to the JJ420 show. That's going to be freaking awesome.
Dude, of course, I've already got my high profile shirt on.
You're already ahead of the game, sir. Already ahead of the game.
Semper Paratus, always prepared.
Well, I guess that's about it for my questions. I mean, you kind of laid everything out on the table, and it seems like you got a lot going on. And I'm wishing you all the success in the world, and I'm looking forward to the next upcoming projects that you're working on. And hopefully, I get to come back and talk with you and see where you're at, and maybe get to see some more footage of some of the stuff you're working on, and maybe I can, and looking forward to everything you're working on, man. And it seems like you got really the ball rolling, and like you said, ever since you got out there, things have been really rolling out, and you got all those subscribers now, which when me and you and Asmodeus were working together, and we tried to get a show going. We weren't getting the views that we were wanting, but you figured it all out now, and you got it rolling. So I'm happy for you, and anytime you need that extra help, I'm here for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Mike, this looks like it's going to be all the time we have for the show today. I definitely want to thank you.
Well, if that's how the dice have to roll.
Yeah. I definitely want to thank you for being on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, my Magic Mike Ovard, also known as Ovard's Magic on Facebook. We'll be sure to make sure that links to his Facebook as well as our own will be featured in the video's release. Just look us up and make sure you
100%.
punch that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when everything that we're doing, and you can
You need to like this video, subscribe, follow, share, all of the above. Why? Because he's got tons of valuable information. I have tons of magic. Together, it's amazing. And he's got a lot more amazing stuff to come, and none of y'all want to miss out on it, I promise you.
And sometimes you need your smart assery in about 150 characters. Ladies
That's
and
right.
gentlemen,
Sometimes you need baby dice.
I'm Apex Rebel X.
Sometimes it looks like little fucking teeth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Apex Rebel X. This is Magic Mike Ovard. Thank you for watching.
Later.